And I think now, obviously, I've still got a lot of work to do, but I feel like I'm at a place where no matter who comes in and out of my life, like I am secure in myself because I love what I do.
First of all, welcome to The Shift, Mae. This is a fun podcast. We're excited to have you. For those who don't know her song Better Days, you probably have not either gone out of the house or listened to the radio since 2021. Your song has blown up. Can you tell us about that? Tell us about what your life has been like recently.
Yeah, I mean, that was it kind of came out of nowhere. When we first released Better Days, for the first few weeks, it didn't really do anything. And I was like, oh no, my life is over. And then all of a sudden, it just started getting in. And what was crazy, because it was in America, it just started kind of it just kind of went like this. And then radio got hold of it. And that was the craziest thing when I would go to America, I'd get into a cab and hear my song on the radio. To me, someone who's been born and raised in London all her life, that was so surreal, and I still not used to.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, there was the TikTok challenge, the Better Days challenge. Do you love seeing those videos still all over TikTok?
Yeah, I still get the notifications so-and-so made a video to Better Days, and I'm like, people are still doing it.
I love that. Well, congratulations. It is.
Thank you.
I love that song. I play it all the time. And it's just a huge hit, and I'm sure it will continue to be. So the reason for this podcast, we'll ask the big question, the thing everyone is wondering. What is the best advice, Mae, that you have ever gotten?
Some of the best advice that I've ever gotten from my mum, always a winner when it comes from the mother. Mm-hmm. And she was please, just don't rely on anyone, on any man, or especially just a partner for your own happiness or your own financial stability. Just have what you've got going on, have your base, be secure, basically be secure within yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, anyone else that you invite into your life, they're just a bonus, I think. And being told that from a very young age, it just made me think very differently. And I think now, obviously, I've still got a lot of work to do, but I feel like I'm at a place where no matter who comes in and out of my life, I am secure in myself because I love what I do. I make my own money, and that's so important to me. I never want to have to rely on anyone else for that source,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think that was I feel lucky that I was sort of told that from an early stage.
Yeah. I love that. I think the concept of just loving yourself the most first is really important. And I think a lot of people get into relationships, especially romantic relationships, and they haven't fully understood themselves before doing it. And then it never works out well because you can't care for someone else if you don't really care for yourself in the beginning.
Exactly.
So.
And I feel like when I was younger, I was more, I think when you're younger and you're in your sort of early teens, teenager, when you're in a relationship, it's literally everything. And you're oh, your whole world is just this person. But I think now, now that I'm older, I can kind of see that that is not how I want my life to be. And I want to be able to, I just don't want anyone to ever be able to take anything from me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Are there any specific instances where you remember thinking back to that advice, whether it was a relationship you had, romantic or just friendship, and you were like, you know what? I think I have to put myself first in this situation?
Yeah. Quite a few times, I think. I feel like I've had it. It's funny. I've had it with romantic relationships. I've had it with friendship relationships, and I've had it with work relationships. I've had examples of all three.
Yeah.
Where, it is really, really hard to cut toxicity out of your life. And especially me, I can put my hands up and say I struggle with people pleasing a little bit, and I hate rocking the boat. I don't like confrontation. So there's been a lot of instances in my life where I will put up with stuff, like I will put up with things that and it like that doesn't make me feel good because I don't want the drama, I don't want the argument. But I think I've had to really like drill that into myself, like, no, but if this person isn't adding positivity, you're not isn't adding anything, then like the only person that's losing is me.
Yeah.
And so I've definitely had to kind of like think back to that advice and use it. And I think now I'm at a place now I'm very like well-rounded in it now. I'm like, I've had the big three. So I feel like now whatever happens, like whatever comes my way, hopefully I'm like well equipped to deal with it.
Yeah. No, I think that's great. I actually would be so interested in knowing, how has your experience been being like a young female artist? The world has made leaps and bounds in, treating women with the respect that we deserve, but it's still hard. And I imagine in the entertainment industry as well. And when you're really just trying to fend for yourself, how has that experience been?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very lucky in the fact that, my manager is a woman. My like president of my label in the UK and in the US, they're all women, and I feel like so I'm lucky to have been surrounded by, really, really powerful ladies, and I feel like that kind of energy really like it kind of rubs off on you.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously working in music, you are working with a lot of men, and I feel like from just my experiences, again, I've been really lucky, and pretty much everyone that I've collaborated with they've just been a dream. But you do kind of come across egos, and you can tell, especially when like a woman has an opinion that differs from them, or they might think that they're taking up too much space and that's their space. And I feel like you kind of have to shout to be heard sometimes, which is slightly, I hope it's a little annoying because I'm like, we're all here for the same thing. We're all here to make music, and we all want the same goal. So why am I having to like shout extra hard to be heard just because but I think there are more and more women now behind the scene, which is great.
Yeah.
Which I think the more women, the better,
Agreed.
Yeah, overall I've been lucky, but I think sometimes it is a little difficult.
Yeah. Well, good thing you have that advice from your mom to remind you that you are all you need. You can do it on your own. It's great to have other people who can help you along, but I wonder, did you have any moments, or have you had any moments in your career thus far where, I think any professional or entrepreneur has gotten to this place where they're like, I'm going to quit. I'm done. Like, this is not working out. People do not like me. I'm done. And what have you told yourself in those situations to get you to keep trying?
I just think it might sound a little bit like cliche, but I just think if you really believe that something is for you and it's meant to be, then I just think you just have to keep at it. And I feel like I think it always pays off. And so I just so believe that this is what I'm meant to be doing with my life, and I genuinely am not good at anything else. So I'm like, it has to work. Like, it will work, because I'm like, what else would I do?
Well, luckily, it seems very much like you've already made it work. But I think that everyone who has gone through those lows and still found a way to overcome them has this sort of mental strength. And there's something that they tell themselves in their heads to keep going.
Whenever I get like a knockback, I literally think this, I'm like, okay, oh, that was like a stab in the heart. That was like a knock. I literally think, okay, but when like you're making your documentary, when you're like a superstar, this is just going to be one of those moments in the documentary where you're like, and then this happened, and I was like feeling so low, but then I had to rise up. Like, that's literally how I feel in my head. So I'm like, whenever I get a knock, I'm like, it's just part of the plot. It's just part of the plot.
I love that. There's a quote that I like that says, like, when life hits you with something, just yell plot twist and keep moving. And I think back to that all the time. Like, okay, plot twist. Like, no, it's just
honestly, like it's just part, like you have to keep it spicy, you know? When that documentary comes out, it's got to be interesting. So you've got to have some lows in there.
Absolutely.
So whenever I'm on a low, I'm like, it's just all part of the story.
No one wants a documentary where someone just had smashing success every day of their lives. That is not interesting and not motivational.
Where's the flavor in that?
No rain, no flowers, man. Any new projects we should know about? Anything we should be looking out for in the coming months?
I mean, there's just a lot of music. There's a lot of music coming out. You know, I keep on saying the A word. Like, I keep on saying, you know, album, because it's happening. But I can't give you any more than that. But I'm prepping the people, because I'm just like, so it's just I'm so proud of, like, it's just like a nice, like, big, like, body of work. And I feel like, you know, I've done the whole single thing for a while, which I love, but I'm like, I can't wait to just be like, here's a big chunk. And like, I'm so proud of it. And I feel like I'm kind of a bit more vulnerable in my writing, which I've not like delved too deep into. So I'm excited for people to hear that. A bit scared, but excited. Yeah. And I'm also in a film, which is also crazy. It's called Gassed Up. And that's coming out this year as well, which will be on Amazon Prime. Look at me, I'm like really plugging myself here, but
no, that is the whole point. You should plug yourself. Also, that is so cool. Last but not least, where can people follow you? Give us some usernames.
You can follow me pretty much anywhere, at Mae Muller on Instagram. I think on Twitter I'm at Mae Muller _, maybe, and it's the same on TikTok. Basically, just searching Mae Muller, you'll probably see my face pop up.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'm on it all.
Okay, so follow her on everything, guys. Everything. And just listen to her songs all day and your day will be better.
Oh, thank you.
Mae, thank you so much. We will be keeping up with everything you do.
Thank you. That was fun.